I'm getting money. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Family Talk and Ladu Abakadejo every Saturday on Facebook and YouTube, 10 p.m. West African time. Family Talk is a live conversation and interview podcast on pervasive issues across the globe with in-depth analysis and seasoned guests. Ladu Loyin is a Yoruba Asha edutainment cultural magazine program. Ayabakadejo is also your #1 most reliable brand ambassador and real estate consultant. Call her on WhatsApp today for advert placement and sponsorship or to order your healthy food supplement. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow her on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and you'll be glad you did. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, lovers. Good evening, couples. Good evening, intending lovers. It's all about love, 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 love tonight, I tell you. We've had enough of news about coronavirus, sad news about domestic violence. Today, we want to be happy. We want to listen to this couple, watch them, learn from them, and be assured and be reassured that love, true love indeed exists. It can happen to you, it can happen to me, it can still work, and it works. That is what tonight's show is all about. I have a huge honor, I swear, a huge honor to have with me on Family Talk tonight the very lovely, amazing role models, married counselors, a lot of things rolled into one, in person of Mr. and Mrs. Deji and Yemi Adenuga. Ẹ má bá wí o, ọ̀rọ̀ ìfẹ́ láyé. Irú ọmọ tí mo fẹ́. Ìbígbórúkọ mi, ó bá ẹlẹ́wà mu. Mo fẹ́ bá ẹ̀tọ́ mọ́. Mo fẹ́ bá ẹ̀dá yẹn. Mo fẹ́ máa gbé. Welcome on board. Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you for having us.
Yes, Yemi. Good evening, Uncle Deji.
Good evening, ma'am.
It's so good to have you with us today. Thank you so much for coming to Family Talk. It's a pleasure, it's an honor, a huge one to have you on Family Talk tonight. Good evening. Good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, they are here, and I want you to sit tight because you are going to love every bit of tonight's show with Mr. and Mrs. Deji Adenuga on Family Talk. Mr. Deji Adenuga is a producer, is a director, is a married counselor, is a lot of things rolled into one. And don't say I tell you, is also a kingmaker. Why Mrs. Yemi Adenuga? She is a politician. When I say politician, and history-making one, she is the very first Black woman to be elected as a councillor in the Republic of Ireland. And so each time I see Mrs. Yemi Adenuga, I call her our pride. Yes, proudly ours. Mrs. Yemi Adenuga are there for you. She's also an author and she is a broadcaster, a senior one for me, I must say, a role model in broadcasting for me, a TV host model as well for me. And she's a motivational speaker. She's also a marriage counselor, a very amazing woman, a very strong woman. Women like her make people like me and so many other people like me believe that yes, we can do it, we can push harder, and that nothing is impossible. So personally, it is a pleasure for me to have Mrs. Yemi Adenuga on Family Talk tonight. Likewise, Mr. Deji Adenuga. Once again, good evening, ma'am, and good evening, sir.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, where do we start from? Your love story. Because whenever we watch you make marriage look so simple, so easy.
Oh, my word.
And yet again, when we wake up every morning, we get to read about domestic violence, we get to read about a woman pouring acid on her husband, a man stabbing his wife to death. We are like, okay, what is going on? But for you, you make it like, okay, everybody that is still unmarried, they really want to go into marriage because they really want to enjoy what we see you enjoying, what we see you feeling. It's so obvious. It's so just so transparent. Tell us your love story.
Yeah, before we go into love story, let me say this to you and to our viewers that marriage is indeed very simple. Marriage is very gentle. Marriage is very beautiful. The problem is with the people in marriage. Human beings, we are very difficult. We have issues with ourselves, and these are the issues we bring into marriage to make marriage look like a monster. Marriage in itself is designed by God to make people happy, to make people feel really, really good, and to make them enjoy life. That is why God designed marriage. But God designed it for us difficult people. God designed it for us selfish people. God designed it for us arrogant people so that we can stem down our arrogance if we like, so that we can banish selfishness out of our lives if we like, so that we can embrace love and enjoy the beautiful, beautiful things that the Lord Himself has given to us that is called the earth. So that is why God designed marriage. I didn't say that was why, because the reason is still the same. That is why God designed marriage.
Yes.
So
thank you so much, sir.
Having laid that clearly before the people who are listening to us, we can now go into love story. And I don't know what part of it you want to know because the love story is still on.
Tell us how you met. Let's start from how you met.
How we met.
Tell them how you were running after me and you didn't leave me alone. How you were running after me.
How we met. We actually met because it wasn't a matter of somebody looking at somebody when the other person wasn't looking. We were both looking at all the times, and maybe for different reasons, and maybe for same reasons we didn't know. I didn't know she was watching. I didn't know because she was such a young lady then. You would have thought, oh,
I'm not young anymore.
This one didn't know anything. She knew so much. No one is not young, though. Don't be looking at me.
I'm a grandma.
This one is not young. This is old Mama Youngie.
Old Mama Youngie. See my life?
Yeah, so you would have thought she didn't know anything as young as she was then. Because to be honest, I actually met her for the first time. I saw her when she was still a teenager. You wouldn't believe this. You know, and I just fell in love with her for a different reason, not falling in love with her like love, like a sensual thing. I just loved her from the very first moment. You know, she was like a fresh breath, like
fresh fish. I'm sorry, I'm so mysterious.
very young, very naive.
Naive.
Everything around her, was so positive. I couldn't but just love her then. But you see, I wasn't even thinking of, oh, this would be my girlfriend or this could be my wife,
Wife.
And again, I got to know later that she was actually looking at me like, oh, wow, look at this uncle, look at this egbon, so that's how the whole thing started. So that, by the time we discovered that love, as in love was coming into our lives, we just felt, okay,
why not and if
why
not?
not and if not?
We met in church, by the way. We met in church. He was a choir master. I was in the choir. So choir master that was sent to go and lead the choir was choiring the choir.
Choiring something else.
Don't be thinking, oh, this man sings. Forget about
No,
it.
he was a choir master. So our church was such that every year there's a convention, or there was a convention, and they still run the convention now. And different we were districts at the time, was it?
Yes.
Different districts will come together every year, and the choirs from all the different districts will come together to sing. And so I came from my district, he came from his district, he led his district, I came with another district. And then we met at the church. And, there was the interesting thing was he had this friend at the time who was really close to him. His friend was a fine guy, right? So
also a choir
master. So I kind of liked his friend just by look. I'm like, this guy is fine.
And sincerely, that one was a choir master who teaches songs. I was just a choir master and administrator. I couldn't sing.
Yeah, but he wrote songs and he led songs as well, taught songs, but he couldn't sing to save his life. So I kind of like, this his friend is fine. But the day I met him, the day I saw him, I literally saw him. I'm like, and his friend spoke. Now there's something about me, right? It's just really, maybe it's odd for me. When looks for me is not really a big deal. It's nice, it's fine, it's great. But by the time you open your mouth, it's very important to me what comes out. So when his fine friend spoke, the first time I heard his fine friend, aside from singing, I always heard him sing. But the day he spoke, I'm like, but I fall handy, man. Nah.
Oh no.
So then I saw him. I'm like, fine. Oh, this man is fine. So black, but so fine. And I tell you honestly, the day my heart kind of like went boom, boom, was the day I met his sister.
Wow.
The day I think it was the third rehearsal at the church for the choir. I met his sister. His sister came in. I didn't even know she was a sister. So in came this very dark, ebony, beautiful woman, beautiful lady. Very beautiful, but she was really dark. Like they're.
But that one sings so.
You don't
like
need me to tell you. You can tell that in their family. So she came in. Oh my gosh, she's so beautiful, and they have this thing in their house. Like they're dark, but their lips are so pink. So she was dark, and her lips were pink, and she came on and like, oh my God, she's so beautiful. And then she went to him, right? And they were talking, and I thought, who is this girl who is going to my bobo? We haven't spoken. Oh my gosh! And then she was talking to him, and I saw the likeness. I'm like, oh my goodness, she's a sister. This household is not so bad.
And now that she's talking about sister, let me also say this very interesting thing to you, about her own sisters.
Oh my God.
There were like 7 then, 7 of them or so. In that range.
Yes, there's 7
they
of us.
They weren't the same age, but in that range, they would always cluster. There's 7 of them.
Oh, my sister, myself and my sisters were like
even
terrors.
in the choir. Then when we had a break, and everybody would stand together, nobody dared go near them. They were like witches. Because they were so different. Now, later I realized that they just came back from Port Harcourt. They just
Okay.
relocated down to Southwest. So now there was this unique thing about them. Everybody would just
They
look at them.
stood out.
So I looked at them this evening, this particular evening, and I listened. They were speaking these jargons like that, you know. So I was interested. Now, as at that time, I was already a teacher. So forget about it. The
Okay.
boldness, the confidence, and everything was always there. So I just walked up to her herself, and
We were together,
they
myself
were
and
all
my
of them.
sister.
So I just went
And
there.
he was bold enough to walk up
So
to
as
me.
soon as I said hello to her, everybody stopped. You needed to see their eyes on me, like, yeah.
Like that.
They couldn't even move me. They wouldn't be more than my normal students, like, but they didn't know who I was. So all of them now fell in love with that boldness, that courage, that confidence. We became really
Very
good
good
friends.
friends.
We became so
He
close.
was literally like the first person in church who was bold enough to walk up to me and my sisters when we're together. Myself and my sisters, we were our own security. We were very mindful of men. My parents had warned us, be careful with men. My mother used to tell me, if a man touches you here, be careful. The minute he goes in, you're going to get pregnant. And I believed it. Hook, line, and sinker.
I love those sisters.
So
I
we
love
were
till
so
tomorrow.
protective.
No, I love them.
So when he came and was bold enough to come to me and my sisters just loved him. Like, who? First of all, they're like, who's that man? Who does it think he is?
So
But
from
they
that
loved
from
him.
that moment, you're talking about our love story. From that moment, after we left the singing practice, we were communicating every
This was
time.
1980.
This was the first time. I'm talking about 1985.
85.
1985
wow.
was the first.
Wow.
Yeah.
So 86 through 87, we were still exchanging letters. I had a girlfriend then. I wasn't even thinking of her as my girlfriend. But of course, later I got to know that she was already crushing on me.
I was just crushing on you. I wasn't thinking of you.
And when I got to know that, oh, it blew my head off. It blew me off. So we were communicating throughout all that. And you see, there's something very interesting about our communication then. We would exchange letters. We were writing letters as if we were talking to each other
Face to
physically.
face.
For example,
Like
if I was writing the letter I was going to post to her, and somebody knocked on my door, I would write there that, hold on, I need to answer
The door.
the door. I would write that.
Wow.
If I was cooking
That's
then,
unique.
yeah, if
Yeah.
I was cooking then and I forgot myself and something got burnt, I would put it there that, oh my God, I just burnt my yam now. So that was the interesting part of our letters then. From then again, I found out that, she loves reading. So we started exchanging novels. All this, we were far, and as at that time, as brilliant as she was far beyond pace setters.
Nah, red
you know,
faces. Long,
and she was even far away from
Meals and Bones.
Meals and Bones,
Don
Jim
Pascal.
Hadley Chase. No, we were
Chase.
reading like Sheldon, we're reading like Jackie Collins, all those stuff. So when we exchange books like that, we got interested more and more in each other, and the
Each other.
passion started, So, listen, my dad called me one day. The way our
Before you go to your dad, let me tell you the day which was the deciding factor for us, right? And it was from
Yeah.
the letter writing. So on this occasion, right, I'd written a letter to him.
oh wow, yeah.
He wrote a letter.
Yeah, okay. So I wrote a letter.
Yes.
I wrote a letter from Port Harcourt.
He went on. He traveled to Port Harcourt.
You
And
remember
okay.
when she was saying that we were coming to choir meetings, choir practices, and everything?
Yeah.
We want to get together. So we were looking for help with each other.
A chance to meet.
It's a big chance for us to meet. We didn't have that chance to. I'm going to visit somebody. Oh, she's coming to visit me. We never had that luxury then. Church boy and girl. So and then we weren't particularly in love, like sensual thing. So we were going to meet on Saturday. So I got to school. This time I was in the university. This particular year was 1987.
Yeah, you'd gone back to the university.
Oh yeah, I was back in the university then, 87. So I was looking forward to meeting on Saturday. Then I got to the school on Monday, which we were hoping to meet on Saturday. So I got to school on Monday, and from the sports department, they sent message to us that they're going to pay our allowances, our training allowances. So we'll be going for the Nuga games
in Port Harcourt.
in
So
Port
he was in
Harcourt.
sports. You got to go fast about.
Okay, so that was how I couldn't go to
the choir practice.
So we got to the Nuga games. Yeah, we got to Port Harcourt on Friday, like 2 a.m.
on Friday.
So I slept like I couldn't sleep. Early in the morning, I went to the markets.
Yeah.
The university market, yeah. So I bought a card and I got my envelope and everything. I wrote a long letter explaining that we won't be seeing tomorrow, Saturday. I knew that the letter would not get there until like Monday, Tuesday.
Monday, Tuesday, yeah.
I wrote that letter and it was around Easter period. The Easter card, which was talking about distance and how, my heart is
with you,
this,
and distance makes the heart go.
So I posted it on Friday. So what?
Okay, so he posted this letter from Port Harcourt on Friday. And then I got the letter the following week, I think towards the end of the week, around Friday, I got the letter. And when I opened the letter, my heart fell. Like I opened the envelope and the first thing I saw was the card and my heart fell. And I thought, oh my goodness, why did he send back my letter?
And when I came back from Port Harcourt and I quickly went to the post office because I knew she would have replied my letter. I got all my letters. I was looking for hers. Then I saw her handwriting. It was an envelope containing a card. I opened the card. My heart dropped. I just closed it back. I couldn't open it on the road again. I closed it back. I got my room. I was just looking at the envelope.
Why did she have to return my
letter?
Okay, so I took the envelope and I decided after a while, I didn't read it immediately. And after a while, I thought, okay, let me just read. Perhaps there's a message there why he sent back the card. And when I eventually opened the card, it wasn't my card.
And it wasn't my card.
It was exactly the same card
that I bought in Port Harcourt.
He went to a shop in Port Harcourt, bought exactly the same card that I bought in Ogun State.
It could only happen in a movie.
You could only have done that kind of thing in a movie, in a script. And he posted a long letter. It was only after I opened that I saw it was his handwriting in the card, and it posted that card out to me a week ago. I literally broke down crying, like, how possible is this? How can you buy the same card in two different parts of the country? It was just, and that's when I kind of knew that, there's something here. There's something here.
So later in time, when my dad
said that my girlfriend, he had gone to find out, and this and that, so I cannot bring that home for a wife, and I felt so bad. I couldn't eat, I couldn't do anything. And my father woke me up early morning one day and said, listen, I've been watching you. I've been looking at the way you behave. If you are thinking like this, if you are like this because of that lady, forget about her. Turn around, look back. You will find some of these young girls that are running after you. Look at one fine, well-behaved one of them and marry. Then I looked at my dad. What do you mean? Then I remember.
I don't want any girl, any other girl.
I just remember. Did my father know this girl? Was my father talking about this girl? The picture started playing. Then I said, listen, Deji, you are very stupid. What is wrong with you? You have somebody right there and you're
right there.
And I have to say, just to finish up this love story that has taken forever to tell.
we cannot say, even in a whole day, we cannot.
But the thing is, that the mistake that a lot of people make today, and we share this with young people.
Yeah.
the one thing that we realized down the line was that we were first friends. We were
Yeah.
so great
Oh, great
friends
friends.
before we became lovers. Like I confided in him about a lot of things. I would even ask him questions about the supposed boyfriend who wanted to go out with me at the time. There was one time when a boy who really liked me had asked if he could have sex with me, and I wanted to kill him.
And she kept to ask me.
Because the only thing I saw, just taken from the words of my mother, was
Yeah.
this boy wants to give me belly. Because my mother told us then that the minute a guy is asking you for sex, he just wants to impregnate you. So I was running far away from that. And I asked him, I wasn't even going out with him then, but I'd asked him, I'd spoken to him about it. So we were so open, we were so free. He was a great friend before we became lovers and before we got married. And I think that was a solid foundation for our relationship, that friendship.
And again, let me quickly just drop
This for people, we may not talk about it again. You are not married, you are single. Your friend, your great friend is single, opposite sex. You confide in each other. There's nothing you don't discuss. You love to see each other. You love to talk to each other, or you never go. And you are not married, or you think you are not good for marriage. Think very well. Think very well.
If you don't marry your friend, you want to marry your enemy.
You won't marry your enemy anyway. So that's a very beautiful one, and we can see that that's your meeting. The way it all went was actually divine. It had God's hand in it from the beginning. Then what is from that day? Maybe from friendship to lovers, now to married couple. What is that secret that's kept you two going? You remain friends since then up till this very evening. What is that secret that you think that's okay? Not that you won't have misunderstanding, not that you were raised. Mrs. Yemi was raised in Port Harcourt, different background, but yet it's like each time we see you, it's like you are just newly married. What is the secret?
Okay, yeah. You see, most of the things that happened later that strengthened our relationship, we learned them while in this marriage. We learned most of the things in this marriage. Nobody ever tutored us on anything. Nobody ever gave us any. But you see, the secret, the truth of the matter is, to be honest with you, I have never loved anybody like I love this woman. Nothing. If any, in my heart, if anything goes from her, I am dead.
Nah, you're not dead.
So nothing will go wrong. So even when I mess up and I look at her, she's not happy and everything, it is very important for me to make sure that she's okay. So I would not mind what I would suffer to make sure that she comes back to normal, because there's something we always say here. Both of us, we always say it. We want our friendship. We love our friendship. We cannot give anything in exchange for that friendship. So we always love it.
For that friendship.
And then she's a great woman, highly intelligent, highly committed to whatever she wants to pursue.
She wants to do, yeah.
I never trade that for anything. So when I look at everything about her, I don't want to lose nothing, not the slightest thing of those things I see in her. So that is one thing that keeps me, falling over and over and over and over for her. And commitment will always be there. That commitment. And I say to people, let's look. There will always be love. There will always be love. Love will come, love will go, but there will always be love. Even when love goes somewhere, there's something that is important. Commitment. It is very, very important. You will find out that most of the time these days, there's not much commitment. Any little thing I'm going, somebody cheated on somebody, or somebody wants to leave somebody. You think I've never cheated on her? You think I've never done anything bad? If you know what has gone on, what has gone between us, my God, oh my God, you want to have a rethink before you say, I leave my wife or I leave my husband. You want to have a rethink.
Absolutely.
So, Mrs. Yemi, what's the secret for you?
Yes, obviously God for us, God, Christian family, and I honestly believe, I don't need anybody to tell me that God really loves us. God has done so much for us, it's just incredible. Sometimes when I'm playing my songs, when I really am in a low place and I want to get high and I just play worship songs and
Yeah.
I go into a different realm. You know, I could be in my room, but the minute I switch on my music and I go into a different realm, I just feel the presence of God and I feel the power of, how much He's done for us over the years. So God is definitely a big portion,
Big factor.
factor
Big factor.
in where we're at today.
Yeah.
I believe in Him, I trust Him. That's one. For me, a great part of it is friendship. This man has been my friend
Friendship.
from forever. He's been my friend. Would you believe? Now,
Did
they
you
are
see
friends. They are friends. And they are friends. But let me explain the kind of friendship I have with Val, right? I call him my Val. I mean, you all know his name is Deji, but it's always very strange when I say Deji. It's kind of like,
And I like it because it doesn't come always.
So every time I call him Deji, his head goes, good. Well, I call him Val, right? And this was from way back, when I didn't want to call him his name. So my pet name for him is Val. He's my Valentine. He's my everyday Valentine. And for me, the reason our friendship is so rock solid is we quarrel. We're like every normal couple. We're two very strong characters.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you know that right now. He has a very strong personality. He's a guru in his own right. He's an icon in his
Yeah.
industry. He's loved by
Yeah.
many. I mean, the women you should in the movie industry, like I'm just like, okay, I know when he's out there, he belongs to the women. The minute he opens the door and he comes back to you, I'm like, yeah, come, you're fine. You know you're fine. I got you back. And thank you, fans, for giving him back to me. So, I know I have to share him with so many people who love him. Yes, that's fine. However, we know where to draw the line. We know where to draw the line between work and our marriage. The minute we come through the door, everything else waits outside. It becomes family and he becomes my friend. This man is my biggest cheerleader. Let me explain. I was going to explain that friendship. Let me explain that friendship. It's the kind of friendship where he sees the things I don't see about myself. You know, when your friend can tell you the truth. Now, some of those truths
Yeah.
sometimes a bit hurtful, but the fact is, you ask yourself, who else will tell you if not your friend? Do you
If
want your
not,
enemy to tell you the truth about yourself? They will garnish it up. So I have learned to understand that if I really want to hear the truth, this is the person I'm going to hear it from. And we've learned one thing. I have learned one thing through that friendship, through our friendship, that every time we have a conversation, even when we quarrel, right? I may be upset at my husband. I may be upset at Deji Adenuga, my husband, but I miss my friend. I miss Val, my friend.
wow.
So I may not want to talk to my husband because at that time he's wearing the husband tag and I'm upset at my husband. But it's very easy then to look past the husband and to want to talk to my friend. And you know what that does for us? It helps us solve our quarrels quicker. And we've end up turning the quarrel into, so okay, do you want to wear glove? I've got glove for you. Put the glove aside. Let me tell you something about this friend. You see this friend of mine, right? When we have a quarrel, and this is something that has happened this year, December will be 28 years married, right? Through the 28 years, this man, when we quarrel,
And I've known her since 1985.
we've known each other, so that's like 30 something years, right?
Yeah.
Every time there's a quarrel and I'm upset, and you know the way we women can be sometimes, like, leave me alone, I don't want to talk to you, just leave me, please, or but the minute we get into bed, you see that quarrel. My husband Val will say, please, my darling, just put
Aside.
that quarrel. Let's fight, just put that quarrel aside. Let's do this business. When we finish this business, we will continue that quarrel.
I mean, now, if you vex say you don't go eat your dinner, and the vex come out tomorrow, are you going to eat last line dinner tomorrow?
No.
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 So you miss your dinner.
So the quarrel will have to wait I may still be upset.
Yeah.
But I tell you honestly, sis, by the time we finish the business, even I won't even remember why we're even quarreling against it.
The fire
But
is
again,
vanished.
we don't slide it under.
However,
Yeah.
yes, however, we have learned not to, if it's a serious issue that needs addressing, we have learned not to push anything under the carpet. We talk about it. So we take time and we sit down and then we talk as friends. Here is the power of friendship for me in any relationship. Notice how when you have a friend, you really like them and you don't want, I hope you can still hear us. Oh, sugar. Okay. Are we still on?
Yeah.
When you have a friend, right? You don't want to spoil that friendship and you don't want to quarrel with your friend. So you find yourself when your friend upsets you or offends you, you find a way to try and explain. They are the ones who offended you. But because you like that friendship, when you go and tell them that they've offended you, you find yourself trying to find a way to tell them what they've done and not upset them at the same time. But you see, what I'm trying to say is, oh, don't get upset now. I'm trying to explain to you. Can you just listen? Why do you do that? Because you like that friendship. Now reverse it and think about couples. Most times when a husband wants to tell his wife that she's done something wrong, rather than explain to her, he gets angry.
Yeah.
Or when a woman wants to tell her husband that he's done something wrong, she comes already ready for battle, right? Why can't we explain things to ourselves as we would explain to our friends? So we've learned to do that. When we have a quarrel, we speak as friends. I always remember he's not my enemy, he's my friend. So I'm respectful in how I present my case. I still remember that he's my husband and I have to respect him. He's not just my husband. He's older than I am. So that respect is there as well.
And I also want to say that, in those times when, it's okay to be angry. It's okay to quarrel. I say to people, please quarrel. When a conference I was speaking, and then somebody was going to ask a question. In his question, he said something ahead, and he said, "Look, I've been married for the past 7 years. We have never had any quarrel, myself and my wife." Before he finished, I said, "Listen, go back home and quarrel. Go back home and quarrel." It's very important to get angry. Now, what I was going to say is get angry, deal with the issues. That's what we do. That's what we have always done, and that's what we still do. As friends, we don't deal with each other. We deal with the issues that is causing problems for us. We separate things, okay? So if I get angry, she also gets angry. I get angry the more, but she gets angry the worse. She doesn't know how to get angry.
Human.
When she's angry, but me, I'm so quick to get angry, and I'm quick also to get over it. But even in all of this, we still make sure that we don't deal with each other. That's
deal
why
with the issue.
Look, when we are having problems, that's why we get to bed and I still want to do. But that's not the only thing. If she wants her tea and she asks, she will still ask me, "Please, Val, can you please get me a cup of tea?" She's angry. I will still come to ask her, "Do you want tea?" When I'm going to make tea, I will still ask her. I'm angry. It doesn't mean that I'm not angry. But I'm not angry with her. I'm angry for what happened, what she did. So I will not deny her. Yes. So I will not deny her of that friendship, the benefit of that friendship, the benefit of that spouse of mine, of hers. I would not let that pass. So when we are angry, we deal with the issues that cause anger. And I'm sending that out to people. That is part of the secret of our marriage getting stronger and better and more beautiful.
Wow. That is so amazing. I know you've mentioned that you get angry, you quarrel. As a matter of fact, we are all human. You have to quarrel, but you know how to go about it. But for young couple watching, if you have to, Mr. Deji, if you have to say one thing, like a golden advice to attending couple, maybe they are getting married tomorrow, something the groom cannot buy, what will you give him to the young man getting married tomorrow?
Just the man.
Yeah, just the man.
Okay.
And see, we talk to the woman.
I would say be very sure
that you know what you are marrying is a gold, not one trash. If you know the value of your wife, you will not need anybody to tell you to love, to respect, to honor, to hold, to be committed. You will not need anybody to tell you. So make sure that you value your wife. Look, if the value is not even up to what you want, you can increase the value. That's why you are the husband. You can add to the value.
The
You
value.
don't need to say, you don't need to say, look, she's not even up to the standard I expected. Oh, so you have a standard. Make sure you elevate her that standard.
That standard, yeah.
Exactly. So that, look, my wife will look back every time she will talk and she will say, oh, you see, this is my husband. Oh, you see, this is my husband. Look, when something happens along the line, the wife will remember that, oh, these are the values that this man had invested, had put into my life. And that will keep drawing the two of you together. So make sure
Together.
you value your wife so well. If you have set a standard and you have married her and she's not up to that standard, boost the standard. Increase the value in her.
Elevate her up to your own standard. Okay, thank you so much. Mrs. Yemi Adenuga, like a lady getting married tomorrow, what can you give her golden advice money cannot buy?
Okay, for me, this is pretty straightforward, and it's something that comes from the Bible. God calls us women a helper. God said that He made for Adam a helper. He saw that Adam needed help, and He made for him a helper. So a person who doesn't need help doesn't get a helper. So what that simply says is that every man needs help. Every man,
Sure.
whether it's Bill Gates, whether it's Dangote, he needs help, and he needs help from the woman that God has placed in his life. So I would say to every woman who's listening, young girls, young ladies who are going to get married, and even people who are here already married and who want, we're all work in progress. We're all making our marriages better. We've been married 28 years and we're still thriving. We're still building. We're work in progress still. We're learning every day.
Yeah.
I would say recognize that you're a helper and you deliver your role as a helper. So if you're going to help somebody, you need to find out what they need help with. You can't help somebody if you don't know what they need help with, can you? So when I understood what it meant for me to be a helper in this man's life, my first task was to find out what does he need help with. So he's the head of the home, right? Your husband will be the head of the home, but he can't build the home by himself. God has designed us as women in such a way that we can do a million things at the same time and not bat an eyelid. Men are not wired that way.
That way, I know.
Yes, that's one of the ways we can help. Now, here is another thing you have to recognize. Most men do not agree that they need help because they still don't understand that God has given you to them as a helper. You know that. They probably don't, but you know that. So don't quarrel with that. Don't argue with that. You just deliver your job as a helper. Can I tell you something? A man may not tell you immediately. Men are not, especially African men, they're not so great at saying sorry. They're not fantastic at saying I love you as such. I think young men these days have improved on doing that.
I was going to say people need to improve on that.
Young men have improved on that. They're not so great at doing that. And then they're not so great at telling their women that they appreciate what the women have done. That's something I see in African men. But don't let that stop you. You know your role, deliver. The day will come when that man would tell you, the day he starts to tell you how much he cherishes you, you'll be shocked how much he knows. I can tell you that for nothing because I know it firsthand. The day he starts to pour out to you, I thank you so much, I appreciate you, especially that day when he feels lost and he's tried everything and then he comes home like a lost puppy, a wet puppy, and he comes to you. That's the day he will see the total value and tell you the total value of you. So keep doing your work as a helper. You're there to help him. Help him in his business. Help him as a mom in the home. Don't play the role of father, please. A dad is a dad. You can't play the role of a father if you're a mom. Play your role as a mom. Help him become a better father. That's why you're a helper. But don't play the role of a dad, right? Help him in his business, help him in his work, help him in his personal life. If he's not dressing well, help him. Because if you rub up on you're a helper. So help.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, before we go to the challenge, I want to say something on domestic violence. Let's throw it out on domestic violence for anybody going through domestic violence now, or maybe men that are watching and they know they are abusers. What message do you have for them?
Okay, yeah, well, I want to say basically that nobody should defend, cover, or condone abuse. I mean, an abuser. Don't defend, don't cover up, and don't condone an abuser. It is not good for you. It is not good for him or her.
For
it is not good.
everybody.
It's not good for the marriage. Okay? So if anybody is going through abuse, seek shelter from that abuse. And there are so many ways you can seek shelter from that abuse. Make sure that you don't keep yourself in that abuse, otherwise you will just die in it. Somebody will be abusing you and will be saying sorry. He will still come back and abuse you. Men abuse women, women abuse men in relationship. So basically that's what I want to say to people. Then that's on that side. But on the other side again, you see, abuse comes from a point of low confidence. So abusers should please, you can work on your confidence. If you have confidence, you will not bully people, because there's no confidence and people want to cover up that lack of confidence. They want to bully their way around it. You see, men will say, look, I am the head, I am your husband. I will show. The moment a man begins to spell it out that he is the head, that moment he stops being the head. When he wants to begin to show to the woman that I am the man, from then he's not the man.
When
a woman begins to say, look, I will show you that I am the wife, I am your wife, I can do and undo, then she has lost her position. Bullying sets in. Women, wives also bully husbands. So it is low confidence or no confidence that leads to abuse. So don't be, as a victim, don't cover up, don't condone, and don't don't give excuse, don't make excuse for an abuser.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Mrs. Yemi Adenuga?
Yes, ma'am. For anyone who's been abused, get help. Straight up, get help. We're no longer in the Stone Age where we were told and we were brainwashed and we were conned by tradition and culture that you have to go to your husband's house. There's no room for you in your father's house anymore. You've married him, so there's no space for you here. Stay with the man. So many people have died staying with the man. And then they call the family to come and collect your daughter's dead body. Time has gone past all that. If you're in an abusive relationship, the first thing you need to do, very first thing is seek help. Find the person. In fact, as a matter of fact, I think we all need to wake up to the realization that for every relationship, you need to find the person who your spouse is accountable to. Who your spouse. Let me tell everybody who is listening here today. A man who does not fear anybody, who is proud to say, nobody can talk to me and I will listen. Please run away from that man. A man who to say, I don't, even if God comes down,
I don't fear anybody. I don't, nobody.
Exactly. I was going there. That a woman who has no respect for anybody and would not listen to anyone, be mindful of such a woman. So if there's anybody here listening and if you've been in that situation, please have a rethink. What that does is you totally disconnect yourself from responsibility and from keeping your own self alive. You put yourself and others in the line of danger. So what you need to do, if you're in an abusive relationship, get help. Tell somebody. Find out who the accountability person is for the abuser and go tell that person. If they're not helping you, next step, please take a blouse, take a skirt, and take a walk. I'm not saying leave your marriage. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying take a walk. A walk could be for a minute, a walk could be for a week, a walk could be for a month, until that person realizes your value and can decide that you are not the person they should be punching. Until they realize it, that's when you come back, when they come to beg for you. But do not sit there and say, I'm staying for the sake of the children. Your children will cry. If they're very little, they will cry. Can I tell you, as they grow older, they will forget you. They will forget you. Somebody else will raise them. In fact, they might have just a vivid image of you until they look at your picture before they remember. So please do not lose out. Get help, go for a walk. And if it gets worse, if the person is not stopping, excuse yourself and excuse them until they come to their senses.
Sorry, before you go, ma'am, on the 24th of this month, we're going to have a conference. And I'm going to be sharing something with men, basically, and women would also benefit from it. But basically, it's a couples conference, but we're going to open it to everybody, even if you're not married, if you are married and you are divorced. It's basically for everybody who is still interested in relationship. Only those who are not interested in relationship, you need to talk to them. But because there are people like that, they are no more interested in relationship, they are fed up and everything. But those who are interested in relationship, there's something very important that I want to share with people on that 24th.
And it's on our relationship page, DY Relationship Clinic page. Information will be there. Every information will be posted next week. You'll find information about how to register for that conference.
And I'm
on
also
DY
going to
Relationship Clinic on Facebook.
I'm also going to send it to you, ma. And let your fans, your followers, let them also benefit from it. It's free. It's a free conference. Because of COVID, we have not been able to do our regular annual conference, couples conference that we normally do. So these people for free this October.
So you can find DY Relationship on Facebook. Just search it. It is there. You join the group and you have all the details. As soon as I get the details, I'm going to be sharing on my page as well. Thank you so much.
Well done. Well done so much. I mean, I want to really appreciate what you do.
This is your family talk and all the other programs that you do. You are really helping.
Thank you so much, sir.
This is what we want. We want people to, because some people have been so discouraged. They have fallen out of thinking of marriage. They don't want to think about relationship again.
All they just want to do is, look, if the weather is too cold, they just want to pull somebody somewhere and do something and forget about it. They don't want to think of relationship. Whereas you need relationship when you are young, middle age, when you are old. You need relationship at 3 points in your life.
So every stage of our lives,
So you are really helping people. Well done, man.
God bless you, man. We appreciate you
so much, ma'am. Thank you. I do appreciate you too. Thank you. Now the challenge. This is my best part. So please, I don't want you to pause. If I say who does this, whether if it is Auntie Yemi, just point to her. If it is Uncle Deji, just point to him straight on. Don't look at each other's face and be telling each other answers. I don't want that.
We will tell each other. We will make you enjoy it. It's going to be fun. It's just fun.
So who says I love you the most?
Who says I love you the most? Him.
Okay. Who is the foodie?
Can I say something first? He says it the most now. Before he used to be me. Now I have trained him well. So
okay. So who is the foodie in the house?
Who is the foodie?
Yeah. Okay. Who is the disciplinarian? Okay. The best dancer? Ooh, best cook?
That's shit.
I have to I let him into my kitchen all the time. You know he's almost my labor. So
Oh no.
he's a super cook. So we share the kitchen.
Okay. Who initiated the very first kiss? Ooh, I guess so. So who is the best driver?
Oh, okay. Sorry. Oh, my hand is low. Okay.
Who is the best driver? Okay. Who is the most romantic? Oh. Who takes longer time to get dressed?
Champion.
So who spends longer time in the bathroom? Oh. Who likes holidaying the most? Who is the best planner? Good. Who is always the first to apologize?
It depends.
It depends.
Okay. Who is the last to go to bed?
But I would always wait, anyways. Always waiting in bed.
You wait for me,
I
but I'm
won't
always the
sleep
last to go
until
to
she
bed.
comes.
And who is the first to wake up? And who is the first to wake up?
No.
Who is the one with most ideas? Ideas all the time. Okay, thank you so much for that. That's so I want Mrs. Yemi to say to start a sentence now, and Uncle Deji will finish that sentence.
Oh wow.
No question. Can you start
Okay.
a sentence and it has to finish it, and it has to be a complete sentence, please?
Okay. A sentence. I'm everything I am
And every
because
where will I know when she stops?
Just she's starting a sentence. Just finish the sentence. I just want a complete sentence from both of you.
Okay.
I'm everything I am because
you love me.
yes.
Okay. And finally, before I let you go, who is going to sing for who now?
Ooh.
Don't let me sing because okay, I will sing.
No, you have to sing this time.
I will sing. I know one song that I cannot fall my own hand. And I cannot fall anybody's hand in that song.
Okay. So please go.
Oh, yeah, sing.
Eba mi sọ fún Sisi yẹn kó má yí lọ o.
Param pam pam.
Torí pé fàájì tẹ́lẹ̀ láwa.
Param
Ṣùgbọ́n
pam pam.
bébí jọ̀wọ́ kó má yí lọ o.
Param pam pam.
Ọmọdé ń ṣe mí, bébí mi dá. Olójọ̀wọ́ máa gbé ẹ sáyà. Àfìfẹ́ tútù sọ́kàn rẹ o.
Yay!
Thank you.
My husband sang. You are so powerful, man. To get him to sing. Hey!
Thank you so much. I should ask about Ibadiaran. Ibadiaran. Auntie Yemi told us why she calls you Aval. Ibadiaran, where did that come from?
You see, you don't want to know.
We want to know.
I'll tell you. See, every time she walks around in the house, that is where my focus is always. Till tomorrow. Till tomorrow. So I decided to name that part Velvet Waist because it's velvety. So I'll stop it there.
Stop it. We don't want to know it anymore. We don't want to know. Thank you so much, Uncle Deji and Auntie Yemi Adenuga. It's been an absolute honor to have you on the show, and we have learned a lot from you. And we pray that your love continues to go stronger, and stronger. By the special grace of God, we wish you all the best in your marriage, and we wish you all the best in your endeavors. There will always be disagreements, but whenever they come, you've been overcoming them. May you continue to overcome them. Your marriage is going to last forever. Forever. Thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate you. Let me post some comments. People are saying hello. Okay, Miss Kafaya Mobola said that Uncle Deji should not fall our hand. Okay, he did fall our hand.
He didn't fall our hand.
Okay, he actually tried. So everybody, they are saying you are a beautiful couple.
Oh, thank you.
This is awesome. A lot of beautiful comments there. And someone, Tafika Shade Salah, this is true love. Miriam Muritala said, "Oh, I'm loving this couple." Miss Shola Onifade said, "Love you, Mrs. Yemi Adenuga." Temitayo Oladapo said they were friends before they were partners. That is why they were so good together. And Bilkis Mafe said, "There's no successful marriage without obstacles. True love will always be there." That is from Mrs. Jelilat Akinshola. And if she said, "Lovely couple, God will continue to bless the home." And exactly, yeah, a lot of good wishes. And Shola Onifade said that this is super story. I saw that.
I remember somebody said that
saying your love story. What did you say, sir?
Somebody said about my movie. Said they missed me in movies. Thank you very much. I know there is one going on now, DSTV. I come home once in a while to do stuff, so don't worry. You'll still get to see.
We actually miss good movies. Really, we actually miss good movies. We are hoping you bring good movies back. There are movies every day on YouTube, but really good ones. We miss them. God will strengthen you to bring them back. Fire Mobola said, "Your love is made in heaven." Yinka Dairo said, "Divine relationship." Jelila Akinshola said, "Two minds are working together for love." Amen. So those are lovely comments there. I want to thank you to everybody who has been part of the show today. We really appreciate you. And on behalf of everyone, I want to say thank you again to Uncle Deji and Auntie Yemi Adenuga. Thank you so much. And have a pleasant evening. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having us. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you, everybody.
Yes, ma. Thank you. Good night.
Good night. Bye, everyone.
Bye. So thank you, everybody, for being part of a family talk today. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show with Mr. and Mrs. Deji Adenuga. I'll join you next week by the special grace of God on Ladun Loin. And in 2 weeks' time, I will join you again by God's grace on another educative, very interesting edition of Family Talk. Do have a pleasant night, everybody. And thank you so much once again. Night.